Welcome, lords and ladies, to a brand new hot seat for the Westeros Total War uh, tournament on Total War Center. Now, we'll be facing 3 other human players and myself as the Lannisters. I'll put everybody's username and what faction they are down in the description, but without further ado, let's see what the custom mod has brought to us. So, Soul Games Inc. and Parafix put together the patch for the mod. They used it for the New Bloods usually, so they just put it together and balanced it out so you could have 4 factions. The Starks, obviously, the Lannisters, and the Kingdom of the South, and Stannis. So Renly, Stannis, Stark, Robb, and Lannisters, Tywin, and Jaime Lannister. But yes, this tournament will be very interesting, a lot of fun, and it will be hindered with a few rules. And by hindered, not really a mean, but you know, a word, a vehicle, if you will. But yes, there will be 6 hot seats, as far as I know, each containing four players, so that's 24 players total. Each hot seat will be 30 turns long. On the 31st turn, victory will be declared via points, and the victory of points will be defined by financial, military, and territorial victories. Each will be determined by the faction rankings at the end of the 30th turns, or no, 31st turn. Each of those is worth 25 points. And then there's killing a faction leader, which is 10 points every time, and then killing a faction heir is 5. Capturing settlements of importance like River Run or Harrenhal, Castle Rock, Old Town, probably Lannisport as well. Yeah. And Winterfell will not be in this, and Dorne is all rebel. The Arryns are all rebel. It's an interesting layout of the map. It's a little bit different, but it's going to be a lot of fun. There's no Greyjoys hindering the Lannisters, so it might be a little bit fun today. Anyways, further rules that need to be touched on. 2 forts per region, 6 forts per faction, so I can only do 6 forts. And there needs to be 5 units in a fort. Not 4 like usually, but 5. And then just a quick note on the command ancillaries, like the Valyrian swords and the like if you have the ancillary Storm's End, that usually gives a +1 command. They've taken out the ancillary that Jaime usually has for Oathkeeper, which kind of saddens me. I'd like to have, you know, 2 5-star generals, but that's part of the rule. Is each faction has 3 stacks, and each faction only gets 1 Night Fighter. And of course it has to be Kevin. I mean, not Kevin, it has to be Tywin. So, hence why Tywin is, you know, the Night Fighter. Makes sense. But anyways, each faction, I believe, has 2 4-star generals, so that's Kevin and Jaime. Then after that, it's just a lot of 3s, 2s, and randoms. I'm not going to go into too much detail there. And each faction has 1 princess with 5 hearts. Very beautiful, very attractive. The others are Sansa Stark, Marjorie Tyrell, and Shireen Baratheon. Now that we've pretty much got a lot of the rules out of the way, there are also, you can make watchtowers. I do want to note this, but as long as it's not like in a strategic position where you could make a fort. Say if I made one right here or over here, that's pretty strategic. You know, that's blocking off a good strategic point to, you know, a good choke point there. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is kind of put it out in the open over here, because there's no army that they can send against my general within a threatening distance. So I will put them over here. See, this is pretty out in the open. And I'm just going to head back home. That way I can kind of see what's going on here. I don't have to have somebody running around down this way the whole time. Same with Sandor Clegane.
Nothing shall escape your notice in these lands, my lord.
Alright, I'll have him run back, and then what we could do with these hedge knights. Let's see, our number of upkeep is 4, and they don't have the jousting lists up to date, which kind of sucks. Oh well, not a biggie. Alright, we'll actually focus on this part later. I do actually want to get everybody in here to go up there. Alright, now we got that entire army together. I would like you 2 units and also the bowman. Alright, we're sending up a expeditionary party this way. We're going to keep Quentin with us just as it is. It's kind of interesting, the ancillaries that should appear with every castle or city are not yet fixed, because I looked at the New Bloods modification, and you know, there's not going to be an ancillary for Golden Tooth or Silver Hill or Stony Sept, or there's literally not an ancillary for hardly any of my freaking things. And I was playing as the Lannisters for the New Bloods rematch 3, and I was playing from like turn 17, I think, till turn 60, 69 to 70. And I really wanted to boost my commander's loyalty, but there was nothing, because I was trapped in the sanctity, in the sanctuary of my 5 key settlements here. It's a good defensive position, don't get me wrong, but you couldn't get any ancillaries to save your ass. When there's way too many of these places, there's only the Banefort and the Hornvale that actually give you any loyalty. The Crag, I'm surprised they actually, you know, they actually have something that gives you more loyalty. So, actually, to fix this, I'm just going to toss that there. That way, Jaime gets another chivalry, doesn't affect his loyalty at all. And that makes our commander a little bit more loyal. But yes, that really irks me about this mod, is that they still didn't finish that. It's like, oh, if I cared to really check around with the other factions, I might have seen if there was, you know, I don't know, something. There might be a better reason. No, he's got a pretty good chivalry, so I'll keep him in Krakow for now. And as it is, they could not get to Krakow in 1 turn. I've tested it. They will literally be on our doorstep, and they're 1 point short of actually besieging. And they still wouldn't have enough men to hold the siege, because they have about 3 units in the nearest settlement. And then they have a full stack about right here. So they're safe on this front. I'm going to have to worry a lot about the south, but I'm going to try and push hard up here in the northeast. Because if I take River Run early on, that's 25 points that I've taken. Or no, not 25, 10 points. But if they lose Robb Stark, you know, their faction leader, that's 20 points right there. In defending it, that'd be sweet. So, yes, I'm going to need to push on this front heavily. Now, in order to push on said front, I need to get Clegane to move his heir. And I'm going to get Marbrand up over here. Now, it may look a little bit stretched out, but this actually blocks them off completely. Like, I tested it out where I had the fort here, like a block just to tile up. And it looked like it had a zone of control, but they could just squeeze by right in here, just barely, just barely. But now that I moved it down just slightly, now it's fixed. They cannot get it, they have to go all the way around if they want to do anything.
Yes.
Now they have 4 units in range of Tywin's stack. You know, 4 units that could actually do something this turn. You know, do some damage at all, and it's not going to do anything. I am going to keep Tywin here, however, because if I don't, then they could just make a beeline this way if I move him over somewhere too far out of range. I mean, the defensive position here is only as good as the main. It's only as good as the amount of men that you have to defend it. As the wise Eddard Stark once said, it doesn't matter how many or how tall the walls are or whatever, you know, you need that many men to defend it. So if you don't have an army to defend this wonderful position, you're screwed. Now, speaking of defensible positions, also want to just
My king.
move him one tile. He'll still be in range of Pink Maiden and Golden Tooth. I just can move him one tile
Command me,
just
sire.
because I want to, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to keep the forces in Hornvale where they're at. Golden Tooth, I might move these guys. Actually, yeah, I'll probably move them somewhere. I don't know. I should keep them where they are because they have free upkeep. And if I move them all down south, then I'll really be hurting for units down
My liege.
that way.
Sire.
So I need to get my 5 units
My lord.
thingamabobber.
Orders. Yes, sire.
So let's
Yes,
get
noble sire. My liege. Yes, noble sire. Splitting our forces, sire. Orders.
let's see, you've got 3, 4, they got 5, okay.
My lord. Orders. My lord. Your will, sire. By your command. Your will, sire. Joining forces, my lord. My liege. Yes, noble sire.
I'm thinking I should send Kevin actually down south.
My liege.
Takes a lot of strategy right now, and I have, to be honest, I haven't planned the turn out much besides just making sure my forting works, because if I only get 6 forts, I'm going to make the 2 that I know work damn well work. So the reasons I decided to go this way, I just need to get Jaime's army into play as quickly as possible. I can't be spending a lot of time getting him moved all the way down south if I want to, and I'm planning on using my ships here to do that and facilitate that.
Ships ready.
Now, I could have used one of these ships to go all the way up there and grab him, which would have wasted a lot of time and just money because his army's just sitting there soaking up cash that gold and florins and dragons that I could be using elsewhere. Now, speaking of things I could be using elsewhere, I actually do need to do this. I'll send another bowman down there, and we'll send Brax just to cement our hold on Silver Hill at the moment. Craig Hall, I might not have the forces or the money to hold it. I don't plan to hold it very long, but I do want a ship over here in case they fort this area off. And in fact, I'm banking on the fact that they actually would fort this off. That way I could sail around to Seaguard, take Seaguard, and I don't know, I would really screw with them if I took Seaguard out. But then I could have a straight shot at Riverrun. And if I take out Pink Maiden, oi, oh, ho ho. I mean, they could fort off just as easily as I just did, but eh, you know, why make it easy to take out Stony Sept? There's no point. No point to. You know what?
Yes.
Suppose if I move my forts forward, I'm just thinking ahead here. If I move him forward here, perhaps that would stop him from moving around. If I move my army that's going to besiege right here, then he would have to attack. Like, I'm thinking about Rob's Night Fighter, because if I besiege with, say, Clegane or Marbrand or whatever, somebody without Night Fighter, then I just have Tywin nearby. Then that works for the Night Fighter thing where I'd have more men than he would, auto-resolving wise. So I just need Tywin to be here. I just need him to be here if he lets me just walk right in, basically.
An order. Yes.
Also, I did want to point out really quick, any of the children that we have right now would practically be null and void unless they were born right away. Like literally, except for this child right here, I could maybe use her before the end of the 30 turns, but besides that, say Jaime and Cersei had another son, 28 turns later, I have another general. Probably by next turn, if they had a kid. If any of them have a kid, it'd probably just be them because they're the only married couple I now see. So they have a kid next turn. It's literally till turn 29 I can get them, and then they're pretty much useless at that point. So I don't bank on kids right now.
Daughter of the Crown.
This is a difficult question: is where to send the princess? It might be best to send them actually up north. If I'm gonna be sending 2 of my 3 stacks against the Starks, I need to send a lot of force to the Starks. Like, a lot needs to go that way.
Sire. Yes, sire.
Alright, now the interesting part.
Leaving the fleet. Orders. Yes, sire. Aye, sire. Your will, sire. Fleet ready, sire. Sire. Aye, sire. Orders. Joining the fleet, sire.
Okay,
Orders.
I do plan on taking Martin Lannister,
Boarding and
as well as
sire.
Tyrick. Reasons being is they're just very good at being loyal
My king.
when it comes to
My
forting.
lord.
Now, I realize that my chances at the uh, financial victory are dwindling as I spend the shit out of my money right now, but as long as you do it strategically,
Orders. Yes.
I really don't care.
My lord. Sire.
And as long as I keep these cavalry units in here for this turn at least, then I should be fine.
Yes, noble
Also, I
sire.
forgot about you, my friend, but
Yes, sire.
you still make it anyways.
Fleet ready. Orders.
We'll just toss that unit in, and Tyrion can watch over Casterly Rock, I guess. I'm certainly not going to just leave one general to his own devices inside of a settlement, because in what hot seat? It was a hot. Oh, it was Starks. I was playing as the Starks in one hot seat, and there was just one general in a place. I took that general with a princess, and then I sacked the place. It was King's Landing, to be specific. So you can imagine that really dealt a blow to their happiness. So next turn, I won't have as much money to play around with, but I will have more money the following turn since I won't be recruiting, 6 units of spearmen and a ship, you know. But I want that ship get going as soon as possible, because if I have to ford up off the coast here, that's just going to give them an opening. If they want to move their, their stack at sea, they could just move them around. Our stack that's forded up, they could just make another fort. So we'd be stuck over here. But as far as that goes, strategy-wise, I think we're pretty good for now. I'm not really worried about Stannis because if they want, they could probably just sweep over Stony Sept. I really don't have enough forces to defend against two factions for one little dinky place. To be honest, I could hold off Silver Hill and Critic Hall for the time being. We'll have to see.
Your will, sire.
Where do we put this unit of cavalry?
Sire. Orders. Your will, sire.
If only you could reach. You're gonna
As you
reach.
wish. March to exalt.
Tywin has plenty of authority. If he doesn't, then we can just get another general. If it goes rebel, I doubt it rebels, but you know, weird shit happens when it comes to medieval 2. That is for sure. I do want you two units to get on the down boat.
Aye. Aye, sire.
Also, just so you guys know, my plans are to move this ship down in the south to assist with Crakehall, obviously, because if I need to, I can reach it in a turn. You know, if they start sending that stack over this way, easily defended. If they they start sending it off towards Silverhill, I'm a little less defended, but I
Command me, sire.
could make it there in 2 turns. Oh fuck.
Marching, sire. Yes.
Shit. That's kind of bad.
Your will, sire. An order. Yes. Orders.
Well, I'm basically going to end my turn, but
My king.
I will repair my misguided doing right there. Perhaps this actually works out. Maybe I could get Rob to move on something.
Command me, sire. Your will, sire. My liege.
Kind of blows my plans out of the water though if I go along with this. I might just repair my my wrongdoing right there and just fix it and redo my turn quick.
Yes.
Because to be honest, I really wanted to move Kevin down this way also, just to kind of garrison the south a little bit more too. So I can fix those 2 boo-boos, and yeah, I think that's all I really want to fix. But otherwise, I will pass the turn on to the next player. So I'm gonna fix those 2 things, redo my turn quick, and send it off to the Kingdom of the South. Thanks everybody. See you in the next turn.